WRRS.
Hello, Intermediate School, and welcome you here to WRRS on March 1st, 2019. I'm Ethan.
And I'm Alex. We pride ourselves with bringing you the latest intermediate school news. Let's go to the map outside the office to get the latest update on where homerooms are on the journey across the U.S.
Today we're going to look at the map. Here we go.
In Minnesota, we have Miss Hazard and Mrs. Flett. At Illinois, we have Mrs. Wolver, Mrs. Barrett, and Mr. Scholes. In Missouri, we have Mr. Gobo, Mr. Jones, Mrs. Thompson, and Mrs. Halls. In Kansas, we have Mrs. Ziegenfuss, Mrs. Flight, Mrs. Thompson, and Miss Wall. In Louisiana, we have Mrs. Rose, Candy, Mrs. Aini, and Miss Stark. In Alabama, we have Miss Smith, and in Georgia, we have Miss McD. In North Carolina, we also have Mrs. Smith.
Great job. Back to you.
Thank you for that update. Keep up the good work. Our next stop is Civil Rights Memorial, Montgomery, Alabama.
Until justice rolls down like waters and righteousness like a mighty stream. Dr. King's famous paraphrase of Amos 5:24 is chiseled into the black granite of the Civil Rights Memorial, a moving tribute to those who died in the civil rights struggle between 1954 and 1968.
The memorial is a memorial to 41 people who died in the struggle for the equal and integrated treatment of all people, regardless of race.
The memorial is part of the Civil Rights Trail in Obama.
Did you know that in 1956, the United States Supreme Court ruled that racial segregation in schools was unlawful?
Can you imagine not being able to go to school because the color of your skin?
Ruby Bridges in New Orleans went to a whites-only school after a court ruling said that segregation in school wasn't allowed.
Was in first grade. 4 marshals walked her to school every day to keep her safe.
Rosa Parks, another brave woman in Montgomery, she has quite a story too. Let's watch the video about her.
Now to one of the most memorable Americans ever to confront the issue of racial segregation head-on in this country 40 years ago. Rosa Parks, who in refusing to give up her seat on a city bus to a white man became the Mother Superior of the Civil Rights Movement. This week, at the age of 82, she's traveling this country with a group of students, her story and what she is telling them in her own words tonight.
This was the seat that I took as I got on the bus. A few white people boarded the bus, and one man was left standing, and I certainly did not plan to stand up, and I didn't consider myself breaking the law because I was in what was supposed to be our part of the bus. So my arrest brought about a protest from the people of Montgomery that lasted 381 days. And when we did go back on the bus, we didn't, the Supreme Court had handed down a decision that they would be no more racial segregation in transportation. When I was on the bus the time I was arrested, the only thing that was on my mind was that I did not want to be treated in that way.
It took her sitting down to get a people to stand up. And we can never, ever, ever forget her for that.
That happened to Rosa Parks in 1955. Just one more reminder that the happy-go-lucky 50s were not at all what they seem to be in the rose-colored glasses of our memories.
Can you imagine not being able to sit anywhere you want on a bus because of the color of your skin?
I am so thankful that we go to a school where everyone is welcome and loved.
We can ride a bus anywhere in the city and sit where we want.
To learn more about the civil rights movement, Rosa Parks, Ruby Bridges, or Martin Luther King Jr. in the 50s, check out the library for a book or look it up on your Chromebook.
Next week we go to Okefenokee Swamp, Georgia.
That's fun to say.
We had a great time participating in Kindness Week.
The Safe Club made a video to thank the teachers. Let's take a look.
I like Mr. Gaffney because he's nice and he always calls me by my nickname whenever I come in. And he just talks to me sometimes whenever I'm upset. He gets me feeling all better. And he's nice to me and kind. Yeah.
I like Mr. Carter because he's funny. Miss Bailey and Miss McEnany are the bomb.com.
I love Miss Delaney because she's the best and she's really pretty.
I like Miss Booth because she's kind. I love Mrs. Murray because she always helps us when we're sick.
I like Mrs. Thomas because she's very fair.
I love Miss Sickenfuss because she's nice and she helps me.
Mr. Scholes is awesome.
I love Mrs. Holman because she helps me when I'm struggling in math. I love Mrs. Smith because she is nice and funny. And she's my cousin.
I love Mrs. Canty because she's funny. I love Miss Stark because she's the world's best teacher and she's really nice to me. I love Miss White because she helps me on my ELA and my spelling and my essays when I have to do them. Happy Valentine's Day.
I love Mrs. Follett because she's super sweet.
Happy Valentine's Day, Miss Smith. I love you because you help me a lot with my work.
I love Miss Burrett because she's funny and really nice. I like Miss Madison because she's nice.
I love Mrs. Thompson because she's my best teacher friend and she's one of the best science teachers I've ever had.
I love Mrs. Hazard because she's funny when she forgets things. And she's the best teacher I've ever had.
I love Mr. Jones because he can take a bad situation and turn it into a funny one. I love Miss McD because she's really funny and she makes any situation fun or any subject fun.
I love Mrs. Willer because she's fun, kind, and awesome.
I love Mrs. Aini because of the way she pushes us to do better.
I love Mrs. Ashford because she's willing to help people and she's caring.
I love Mr. Goho and he's the best teacher ever that I ever had. I love Mrs. Wall because she's cool and awesome.
I like Mr. Hall because he's awesome.
I like Mrs. Larkin because she's unique.
I love Mrs. Walter because she is adventurous and she took us to Allston.
I like Miss Fortin because she's talented.
I like Miss Finley because she's intelligent.
I like Mrs. Hopper because she is nice and she put a play on for us.
I love Mr. Foster because he's helpful and kind and he keeps the hallways quiet and in order.
The teachers really appreciated the video. It is always nice to hear thank you. Brings an end to our morning broadcast this morning.
Don't forget to show respect for our school, our classmates, family, and community, and be responsible.
We are respectful.
We are responsible.
We are safe.
We are Red Raider strong.
What are we going to be? We are going to be